Have you ever heard of the cursed cameo? A fabled artifact as mysterious as it is feared. The cameo is said to be a harbinger of misfortune, a deliverer of death to whoever dares possess it. It's a tale dismissed by many as mere superstition, a story spun by those who revel in the thrill of the unknown. But when the cameo inexplicably vanished from the museum, a series of strange and tragic events began to unspool. At the heart of this peculiar mystery was the museum's curator, Mr. Thompson. A man known for his meticulous nature, his sudden disappearance stirred a wave of unease. He was the first to notice the missing cameo, and in the days leading up to his vanishing, his behavior grew increasingly erratic. His office, usually a haven of order, was a picture of disarray. Papers littered the floor like confetti after a parade, a stark contrast to the usual calm. A palpable sense of dread hung in the air, a silent testament to the chaos that had unfolded. Enter Detective James, a man whose reputation for solving the unsolvable precedes him. Greeted by the anxious faces of the museum staff, he stepped into the whirlwind of unease. They told tales of Mr. Thompson's odd behavior, whispers of the cursed cameo, and the eerie occurrences that followed its disappearance. Investigating the curator's office, James unearthed a single piece of torn paper, out of place amidst the disorder. On it, a cryptic message that read, "Find the truth in the reflection." As he mulled over the possible meanings, an unnerving scream echoed through the museum's hallowed halls. The source? A security guard collapsed on the floor, clutching his chest as if in the throes of an unseen struggle. Despite being rushed to the hospital, it was too late. The guard had succumbed to a sudden, unexplained heart attack. The stakes were high. James knew he had to unravel the mystery of the cameo before more harm befell the museum and its staff. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of a complex web of deceit and danger. Mr. Thompson's office was in chaos, a single torn paper hinting at an ominous truth. Amidst the investigation, a chilling scream echoed through the museum. Suddenly, the once calm and serene atmosphere of the museum was shattered. Detective James, still holding the cryptic note from Mr. Thompson's office, rushed towards the source of the disturbance. There, sprawled on the polished marble floor, was a security guard. His face was contorted in pain, hand clutching his chest. The museum staff, pale as the statues that adorned the museum, stood frozen in shock. The guard was rushed to the hospital, but alas, his life could not be saved. An unexplained heart attack was the cause, leaving everyone in the museum in a state of trepidation. The sudden death of the security guard deepened the mystery surrounding the cursed cameo. Was it mere coincidence, or was the curse of the cameo real? Detective James, a man of logic and reason, knew better than to succumb to the whispers of superstition. Yet the string of strange and tragic events made him wonder. James knew he had a responsibility, not just to solve the mystery, but to prevent any further harm. The cameo needed to be found, and quickly. It was not just a matter of a stolen artifact anymore. Lives were at stake. The museum staff, already on edge, needed reassurance that they were safe. James called upon his trusted partner, Officer Sarah. Together, they had faced numerous challenging cases, but this one was unlike any they had encountered before. They knew they had to unravel the truth behind the cursed cameo. Sarah, ever the voice of reason, urged James to focus on the facts. They had a missing curator, a stolen cameo, a cryptic note, and now a mysterious death. Each piece was a part of the puzzle, and they needed to fit them together to see the bigger picture. With a grim determination, James and his partner, Officer Sarah, set out to uncover the truth. The museum was no longer a place of art and history, but a crime scene that held the key to a mystery that was becoming more dangerous with every passing moment. Their search led them to a local antique dealer, Mr. Blackwell. A character of intrigue and suspicion, Mr. Blackwell was known for his keen interest in rare and valuable artifacts. But there was something more to him than just his eccentricities. A glint of greed had caught Detective James's sharp eye, an insatiable appetite for the coveted and the forbidden. And the missing cursed cameo was nothing if not forbidden. Detective James, with his unwavering resolve, and Officer Sarah, his trusted partner, knew they had to tread carefully. They began to stake out Mr. Blackwell's shop, an antiquated building that seemed to harbor secrets of its own. The days turned into nights, and the nights into a thrilling game of patience and observation. They watched, waited, and wondered, their eyes never straying far from the enigmatic antique dealer. As the moon took over the night sky, the city fell into a deep slumber, but our diligent detectives were wide awake. The silence was broken by a soft, creaking sound. The shop's door opened, and Mr. Blackwell emerged, shrouded in secrecy. He looked around cautiously before disappearing into the shadows, his destination unknown. With their hearts pounding, James and Sarah followed him, their steps echoing in the quiet streets. They trailed him to the museum, the last place they expected him to go. As they watched from the shadows, they saw Mr. Blackwell sneak inside the museum, his intentions as clear as day. He was there to steal the cursed cameo. An adrenaline-fueled chase ensued, ending with Mr. Blackwell cornered and apprehended. The cameo was back in safe hands, but the mystery was far from over. The events of the night had only deepened the enigma surrounding the cameo and its curse. In the dead of night, the truth of Mr. Blackwell's intentions was revealed. But the cameo still held secrets that were yet to be discovered. The journey was not over for Detective James and Officer Sarah. The real truth was still waiting to be found, hidden in the reflection of the cursed cameo. Just when they thought the case was closed, the cameo revealed its true secret. This was not the end, but a new beginning. The cameo, once thought to be cursed, held a secret that would shake the foundations of the museum and its legacy. Detective James, intrigued by the odd reflection in the cameo, examined it more closely. His keen eyes noticed a slight irregularity in the cameo's design, a hidden compartment, cleverly concealed within its ornate carvings. Inside was a set of old faded letters. The parchment was brittle, the ink nearly invisible against the yellowing paper. But Detective James, ever persistent, managed to decipher the words. The letters were written by none other than the museum's founder. They were confessions of a dark secret, a secret that was meant to stay buried, hidden from the world. The founder had been involved in a series of illicit activities, using the museum as a front. This was a revelation that would tarnish the museum's reputation forever. Mr. Thompson, the museum's curator, had stumbled upon this secret. He had been preparing to expose the truth, but had been silenced before he could do so. The rumors of the cursed cameo, the inexplicable misfortunes, they were all a distraction, a smokescreen to divert attention from the real crime. The cameo was not cursed. It was a keeper of secrets, a silent witness to the sins of the past. It was not the cause of the misfortunes, but a tool used to cover up a heinous crime. The real curse was the guilt and the shame that had been hidden behind the facade of respectability. The revelation was shocking. The museum was a symbol of culture, a beacon of knowledge, but its foundation was mired in deceit and corruption. It was a bitter truth to swallow, but it was a truth that needed to be acknowledged. The true curse of the cameo wasn't a supernatural one, but a cover-up for a heinous crime. And with this revelation, the mystery of the cursed cameo was finally solved, the secrets it held finally revealed. With the truth finally out, the museum could no longer ignore its dark past. The revelations contained within the faded letters, hidden so cleverly within the cameo, shone a light on the murky origins of the museum's founder. A history of deceit, betrayal, and a desperate bid to keep the truth buried. The museum, once a beacon of culture and learning, had now become a stage for a dark drama. As the staff confronted the uncovered secrets, they realized that the legacy they had been so proud of was tainted. The decision to lock away the cursed cameo, once a prized artifact, was unanimous. It was a symbol of the museum's tainted past, a reminder of the lies that had been spun around its existence. The cameo's curse, it seemed, was not one of supernatural misfortune but of human greed and desperation. A cover story, a distraction to keep prying eyes away from the truth. And poor Mr. Thompson, the museum's diligent curator, had been caught in the crossfire. His discovery of the secret had marked him as a threat, a loose end that needed to be tied up. Mr. Thompson had not simply disappeared. He had been silenced, prevented from exposing the secret he had stumbled upon. His strange behavior, the disarray of his office, the cryptic message he left behind, they all pointed to a man grappling with a dangerous truth. A man who had tried to use the cameo to reveal the truth to the world. With the resolution of the mystery, a sense of bittersweet closure descended upon the museum. The truth was out, but at a high cost. The museum's reputation had been tarnished, and the staff had to grapple with the reality that they had unknowingly been a part of a cover-up. Detective James knew that sometimes the most valuable clues are hidden in plain sight. He had unraveled a mystery that had been years in the making, proving once again that not all is as it seems. And as for the cursed cameo, its curse was finally broken. It no longer brought misfortune and death, but instead served as a stark reminder of the power of truth and the lengths some would go to hide it.